Today's Focus Report takes us to the UK, where the main opposition Labour Party is gearing up for its annual conference. In recent months, the party has been overshadowed by toxic allegations of anti-Semitism. Labour's ruling committee is set to double the size of the disciplinary body in order to tackle anti-Semitism claims. But just how much damage has already been done? And is there as much anti-Semitism in the Labour Party as the headlines would have us believe? Haxie Meyers-Belkin and Julien Sauvaget meet those in Britain's Jewish community most affected by the crisis.
Nothing now the Labour Party can do will shock me.
Have I experienced any anti-Semitism? No.
What I feel is going on is a phenomenal levels of exaggeration.
Where the soul of the party is, I think, in such danger.
In recent months, the UK Labour Party has been plagued by claims of widespread anti-Semitism. The debate has reached as far as the House of Commons.
Within the Labour Party, anti-Semitism is now more commonplace.
With accusations directed at everyone from left-wing militants right up to the party's leader, Jeremy Corbyn. Critics cite Corbyn's recently unearthed claim that some British Zionists don't understand English irony and his defence of an anti-Semitic mural in 2012. His allies are accused of dismissing Jewish fears.
Some of these people in the Jewish community support Trump. They're Trump fanatics.
They're using the row.
Jewish Labour MP Margaret Hodge has been a member of the party for over 50 years. When Labour's ruling body decided to only partially adopt the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism in July, she told Corbyn to his face that he was an anti-Semite and a racist.
If you're in the position, which is where Jeremy Corbyn finds himself, where he has lost the trust of the Jewish community, he and the Labour Party, at this point in time, are the last people on earth who should be starting to play around with a definition of anti-Semitism that has been accepted internationally.
Following an outcry, Labour backtracked, accepting the full IHRA definition. For Hodge, too little, too late. For some Jewish pro-Palestine activists, meanwhile, Labour's U-turn was cowardly. The IHRA code says it's anti-Semitic to claim Israel's existence is a racist endeavour. At a pro-Palestine Labour movement meeting, Jewish Voice for Labour insists that sets a dangerous precedent.
I understood the pressures have been absolutely enormous, but I was extremely disappointed. And I'm glad that we've had assurances that free speech on Israel and Palestine is guaranteed.
She describes an unfair trial by media that the party itself has been duped by.
Is there anti-Semitism? Yes. Is the party rife with anti-Semitism? Clearly not. And yet you would think that from the media and from the Parliamentary Labour Party that was the case.
I think it's an extraordinary accusation to say that Jews are causing a disproportionate fuss by reacting to racism, Jew hate that's targeted towards them.
In July, Britain's three main Jewish newspapers published an unprecedented joint editorial warning that a Corbyn-led government would pose an existential threat to Jews in Britain.
I can assure you that those papers, the three front pages that we published jointly, represents 90% plus of the fears and concerns of the Jewish community.
For others, however, the editorial was an unhelpful stunt that encouraged hysteria rather than dialogue. That opinion shared by Holly Calvice. She's just launched a campaign to be her local Labour candidate for Parliament.
We're a very small community. I mean, I don't know, I think it's about 300,000 Jews in the UK. I think that this has been such a huge storm. We need to ask ourselves, is there something else going on? And I do feel that at the end of the day, we are being used by everyone to make a point.
Labour's anti-Semitism crisis has certainly drawn attention away from the government's disarray over Brexit and offered Corbyn's detractors on left and right a lot of column inches. Holly has decided to fight whatever anti-Semitism there is from within. To stay or to leave, that's the question for these young activists, caught, they feel, between their identity and their politics. Emily, who's Jewish, has chosen to stay a member of the Labour Party.
I completely respect the people that have decided to leave, and from a selfish point of view, I wish they'd stayed so there could be more of us, so there could be a louder voice. But I'm not going to let this push me out of the party that I love.
hold those views, and I say...
Miles, who isn't Jewish, is letting his membership expire.
I've got so many friends, your friends, work colleagues, people I went to school with, neighbours, Jewish, and I can't, I can't knock on their door and say, I think you should vote for Labour when they're under constant attack.
Andrew, Selina and their daughter Miri are observing Shabbat, as they do every week. Lifelong Labour voters, they now won't vote for Labour as long as Corbyn is Prime Minister in waiting.
That we Jews are considered white, middle class, and that brand of old-style socialism therefore regards us as, and I'm sure if he looks at our table and our room, we must be, in his eyes, capitalists and therefore not worthy of protection from discrimination.
Can Corbyn redeem himself?
He would have to deny so much of what he has lived throughout his life, and I don't know if he can turn his back on that. And I feel we are 0.1% of the population in this country. I don't think he thinks it matters that much.
Whatever the real levels of anti-Semitism in Labour, many British Jews are now deeply wary of the party. It may take years before Labour wins back their trust.